I have made up some data so that no spoilers. So the number of folds that we're seeing here are not necessarily representative of what I was actually able to get when I was folding the paper, and these thicknesses are not necessarily reflective of what I actually measured. So when you guys look at this, you're going to look at the tab down here that says the real data. But so that I can show you how to do the graph, we're going to look at this fake data. Okay. It's really easy to make the line graph that we need to make using the Google Sheets. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of the data, including the data labels that we have here in this first row. Once I have that, so let me do that again. I'm going to click, and while keeping my left mouse button down, I'm going to select all of the data. So once I have everything highlighted, I can let that mouse button go. And then I'm going to go to the Insert tab up here on the top. I need to insert a chart. Luckily, Google thinks it knows what I want, and this time it's correct. I do want a line chart. But if you get something that's a scatter plot or this bar graph, you can just change that in this little menu here. Okay, and what we're seeing is that this is already color coded for our different treatments for us. So we have our control, which is the blue line, the butcher paper is the red line, and so forth. Okay, there's a few things that I need to do before I submit this. On what I need to do is I need to change, well, I need to add an axis label to my y-axis. And I need to change this title because this is a really crappy title. Down here, our x-axis is already labeled, so we don't have to do anything with that. Here I was on setup, but I'm happy with that setup, so now I want to customize. I'm going to click on this chart and axis titles. So here I can change the title. So I'm just going to highlight all that, delete that, and I'm going to think about what is the takeaway message for this graph? Basically, what do I want my readers of my graph to walk away knowing? In this case, I'm going to say that regular copy paper increased, let's say, at the highest rate of fold thickening. Okay, so I want a descriptive title. And you can decide what that title is going to be. And if I'm happy with my chart title, but I need to get this y-axis labeled. So I'm going to click back on here. And from this drop-down box, I need to change the vertical axis title. We have to remember, what the hell did we actually measure? Well, we measured fold thickness. And we also need to include our units because what are we talking about here? Are we talking about 80 centimeters? Are we talking about 80 miles? How are we measuring this? And in our case, we measured in millimeters. So it's how I'm going to record that. Okay. So, and if I needed to change my horizontal axis title, or maybe add units here, we didn't really have units for fold number, so we don't need to include units there. But that's how we would do that if we decided that that's something that we needed to do. Okay, let's do a double check of our graph. We have y-axis labeled with units where applicable. We have x-axis labeled with units when applicable. And we have a descriptive title that tells our reader what we want them to know. And we also have a legend that tells our readers what the blue line means, what the yellow line means, etc. Okay, I'm happy with my chart. I can go ahead and include that in my lab report.